you are deeper down the rabbit hole. Nomad, a person who doesn't stay long in the same place, a wanderer with no permanent home.
Well, Ogutu Okudo is my name. I am an energy and extractive expert and enthusiast, and I say so because I work in the sector from a public side, a private side, and also a non-governmental side, so with civil society. I'm the founder and CEO of Women in Energy and Extractives Africa, which is an organization working to bridge the gender gaps in the oil, gas mining, and alternative energy sectors in Africa. And I also work with the State Department of Petroleum here in Kenya. I consult with them. We're currently just wrapping up a fantastic report on a gender assessment of the oil and gas industry here in Kenya, which will be followed with a documentary showcasing how key informant interviews and stakeholders around the sector plan to ensure that we develop the petroleum sector in Kenya sustainably. And lastly, I also work with an upstream oil and gas firm from Nigeria known as Springrock Energy, and I've been with them for 5 years. And I remember it was 5 years ago when I became country manager in Kenya, and I was so excited. And now I see so many young women stepping into positions of leadership in energy and extractives, and I couldn't be more proud. You know, Africa has 600 million people who have no access to electricity. When we talk about Africa is going through an industrial revolution, what that means is we are powering Africa. And to do so, we have to ensure people have access to energy. And access to energy has already been occurring, but it's now about clean, sustainable energy. And that is why I've always been so attracted to the energy and extractive fields. As much as a lot of people tend to associate oil and gas with being dirty per se, I'm also proud to also sit on a few boards of energy companies such as Bbox, who are offering off-grid power solutions to rural communities and lighting them up. So energy and extractive sectors are so important in Africa. As we know, this is a resource-rich continent, but it's all about ensuring that we can develop these resources to benefit our people, to see where they need to go, rather than the resource curse, as has been known within the last few years.
You can travel to the ends of your world in search of all the answers to the questions you have that never seem to be answered, only to realize you are deeper down the rabbit hole.
As you've seen the other day with the Lake Turkana wind farm being put into operationalization, we also have hydro power all around this country. And so what it's saying is the future of energy in Kenya and in Africa as a whole means we have to be able to look into the energy mix. We have to diversify what we consider as traditional energy to be able to look into new modern ways and methods of extracting energy and using it for our own benefit. Besides, most of the time when you are in school, you're thinking about, I want to be home. Now you're home. And as you live presently, please continue to seek opportunities, but seek opportunities as you live in this present moment. I always say it's great to dream, it's great to think far and beyond, but always look at your surroundings and see, what can I do? Well, I've always believed, and I think what COVID-19, this entire pandemic has shown, is that people are flexible and you can work from anywhere. when you have something to do and something needs to be done, I've always been someone who I get it done irregardless. I don't make excuses to do so. So that's why I've been able to have this balancing act. And I think that's what also this COVID-19 pandemic has shown, that we need to move away from the very traditional definitions of careers and work and what it entails, to have things that are more flexible, where the work works around you rather than you working around the work. And when you're passionate about what you do, for myself, it's never been an issue, because everything I touch, I love doing what I love doing. And that's what makes me wake up at 5 in the morning to do what I must, or to sit here with you now as I'm just about to address young girls in Form 4 about the importance of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You make the time for what you prioritize.
10 years ago, if I asked myself if I would ever strip myself down, open myself to the world, into my world, that answer would have been an absolute no.
Well, for myself, one of the things, I've always been outspoken. I always knew what I wanted, and I wasn't afraid to pursue it with my heart. And even when doors were closed or shut in front of me, I always then figured, then I guess there must be another entry into there. Getting into the oil and gas industry, I've spoken about a lot, because my background, and I tell people, I remember being in high school and I was great at science and mathematics, but I was even more phenomenal at geography, history, and English. And that said, all my teachers kept telling me, you have to go into foreign policy and diplomacy. You're the next Kofi Annan. And I said, oh, okay. But then I went and I did that, and it didn't tick me. It wasn't for me. And a lot of the times you're very afraid when you're younger to start something and say, you know what, this is not working for me. I'm going to go back to the drawing board. But I want to encourage young people. That is the time. When you are younger, that is when you should be able to change your career if you must. If you want to discover something else new, you must be able to do so. So don't let society limit you to who you want to be and what your conviction is. Just chase your dreams fervently and passionately, but also make sure you put the hard work behind it, because also that's a part a lot of people are not willing to do. It takes sacrifice, it takes discipline, it takes hard work, it takes long days and long nights, but it also takes consistency. And as you live presently, please continue to seek opportunities, but seek opportunities as you live in this present moment. I always say it's great to dream, it's great to think far and beyond, but always look at your surroundings and see, what can I do? It was so challenging. Actually, you just bringing the words up, I remember it was very challenging. Moving to a career where you have no background in. I stopped doing chemistry and physics when I now got done with, my Form 4. And so now to start saying, okay, wow, speed is equal to distance over time. Aha, here we go. What it did take for me was, I remember when I went to University of Aberdeen, and in my first week when I went to do my master's in oil and gas enterprise management, and my first course was drilling and well engineering, followed by reservoir engineering. I finished those 2 classes. At the end of the week, I went to the administration admissions office and I said, if I drop out of the course now, how much of my tuition can you give me? Because I was trying to calculate and see how I would refund my parents for them sending me, because I said, this is just too challenging, I can't do it. And then I asked myself, but was that not what you were looking for? It was the challenge, was it not? So step up to the plate. And so I did step up to the plate, and I continued with the courses. And I was in class with engineers and electricians and all of these people, and I came out with a distinction. So it's about putting that hard work. And I remember I really had to push myself in that course. And I believe that's what made me leave and understand that you set your future, you set where you're going, and it's up to you to be able to do so. Definitely network. Get out there, do your research. A lot of people, you get into a new sector. Understand what are the associations in this sector. Are they having evening networking group meetings where people are discussing what's happening and what's topical in the sector? Do as much market intelligence. And I say the same thing whether you decide to be an entrepreneur in a business. You need to do your research. Without research, you won't be able to take the next step forward. But beyond even that, believe in yourself. Believe you want to be there and you're there for a good reason. Believe what you have and what you bring to the table will make an impact and make a difference. Because that self-confidence is what will allow you to flourish. It is what will allow you to step up to the plate when there's a conference. I remember when I first got back, when there were conferences with oil and gas, I would write them emails and say, hi, my name is Ogutu Okudo. I studied this. I know you have this conference. I do this, and I can speak onto this. Can you kindly give me an opportunity? And that's what they say, knock on the door. A lot of the times when you're a woman and you get into any sector, whether it's male dominated or not, it's so easy to play small. But I want to encourage women, don't play small. Get yourself out there. Look for opportunities. Put yourself out there even when you're scared, even when you don't think you have what it takes. Many times I found myself sitting on panels with CEOs of multinational corporations, and I asked myself, should I really be here? Can I speak for these women? And I said, well, if no other woman is going to do it, well, I might as well do it. So I challenge women and tell women, do your research, get your market intelligence, put yourself out there, but believe in yourself. And when you have that passion, your passion will drive you to your purpose, and your purpose will drive you to your mission, and your mission will ensure that you can fulfill your vision.
One of the biggest, most important things to empowering women in sub-Saharan Africa is removing the retrogressive cultural practices that exist. 3 acronyms: GBV, gender-based violence; FGM, female genital mutilation; early child marriage. Why is it we are not discussing and looking at how can we be able to eradicate these?
Absolutely. You know, for so long, people have always been talking about the employment quotas of women within organizations. But what there needs to start with is as young as when girls are playing with toys. Girls are playing with Barbie dolls and house. Young boys are playing with trucks and trailers and Legos and building cities. Women need to ensure that we demystify what careers are, what you can get into and what you cannot get into. And that starts also with why I'm here, and we're seated here in a high school here in Nairobi, because I want to talk to these young women about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. When we started this interview, I told you about I was pushed in a certain direction. And that was not the direction for me. But I've come back to now see, I wish I had the opportunity to know about careers in STEM. Sometimes we think the careers in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, are only a doctor, an engineer, an electrical engineer, but there's so many careers. There's aeronautical, space engineers, there's mathematicians, there's actuaries, there's so much. And that's what I want to do, demystify these courses, because then you know what does? By the time women are getting into university, they've ensured from high school, they've picked the right electives. If you're going to Nairobi University or any local university, there are certain electives they want to see. So you need to know early enough so you can be able to qualify for the path you want to take. But then even after that, we have to ensure that young women are encouraged. Sometimes you're discouraged, even in university. When I talk to students, they tell me they're bullied by some of the other gentlemen in the class saying, physics is not for girls, engineering is not for girls, what are you doing here? And sometimes peer pressure is very real. Just because it doesn't affect you doesn't mean it doesn't affect someone in a different way. And that's why it's important to make sure there's mentorship, make sure there's apprenticeships, make sure women in these careers are coming out and mentoring each other and talking about their experiences and demystifying this black, gray, scary cloud that people think STEM, male-dominated careers have. Because I'll tell you, it's not that bad. It really is not. And there's so much space for more women. Women in Energy and Extractives Africa, we have over 10,000 women we represent in 12 countries in Africa right now. And what that means is we have chapters in these different countries, and we have women making sure more women are being onboarded. So it's like a catalyst effect. Once you believe in what we're doing and you go carry it to your community, you see change. We also work in communities with women. We are headed to Turkana next week, where we're going to be meeting with some of these women groups. We've gone to some of these women groups and ensured that when compensation comes, as the government outlined with local content, the 70, the 20, and the 5% to the communities, how do we ensure that of that 5% that comes to the community, women also are part of that 5%? And that's how you have progressive conversations. When you streamline women to positions of decision making, streamline them into positions of leadership, because the minute a woman understands she has a voice and that voice can be amplified, you change the narrative. And one empowered woman creates a catalyst effect in a community where you now have more and more empowered women. Well, it doesn't help that the first thing is my names are all male. Starting from Lucky Dube, Ogutu is male. So first off, they're expecting a man to come on these panels. So you can imagine you're going for a meeting or anything, they expect a man, and you're a woman who shows up, and today I'm in pink. So you have to realize you are your own power force. You are your own energy in itself. You decide. I remember I used to cower away. There were conferences in 2015. I won't name them. I'm sorry I didn't show up. But I got intimidated. I just couldn't go. I was scared. The fear crippled me. And then I started going, and I started talking, and I started speaking up, and I started realizing that a lot of times people are so afraid to ask questions. Ask those questions. When you don't understand something, ask. Because for myself, when I've asked questions, it's made so many opportunities for me that now I tend to ask myself, what do I really do anymore? Because I'm now here, I'm doing this. But don't limit yourself. That's also part of life. Don't limit yourself. Here you are today speaking about media was always your dream. Maybe tomorrow you might want to be working in the new nuclear plant they want to build in northern Kenya. The world is full of eminent possibilities. It's up to you to realize that God made you special for a reason, and your purpose is your driver to where you need to go. So don't be afraid to effortlessly chase your dreams. I guess they say sometimes you never stop to really appreciate the sunshine, because when you say what the highlights are, I'm trying to think of the highlights and it's so difficult for me. But I would say throughout the years, we've been able to, with Women in Energy and Extractives Africa, we have gotten so much global recognition, and some of our members and some of the different women we represent just seeing the change in their lives, to be honest. It's not the Forbes, it's not the CNN or the KTN or whatever, which are great things. They mean a lot, the media. But it's the little impact you make in the lives where you don't get to share that story and no one knows. And you go to bed feeling great because you realize, you know what? I changed or impacted someone's life in a little way, and that's enough for me. I don't know what the plans the Lord has for me, and I don't know what this life has for me, but every day I give it my best. And every day I challenge myself to do something different and step out of my comfort zone, even when I haven't been able to do so. And wherever that leads me, then I hope it does lead me to a place where I'm still able to serve humanity, because that's what really ticks me at the end of the day, to be able to be part of a greater picture and bringing together partnerships strategically to ensure that I want to see a great Africa. I want to see an Africa that's self-reliant. I want to see a Kenya where one day we can speak of having a woman president, as we have seen a woman vice president of black lineage being elected in the United States of America. I look forward to seeing that. I look forward to seeing more women being empowered in Kenya. And being empowered doesn't mean necessarily the passing of the 2/3 gender bill, but being empowered where any person in society sees a woman is able and capable, not because she's a woman, because you judge her based off her integrity, her diligence, her work, and her output. Love is the greatest language, and it's the greatest language we speak in. But love begins with self-love. You cannot give what you do not have. And so my biggest lesson, and what I tell a lot of young women and young girls, is take that time to love yourself, take that time to get to know yourself, take that time to realize who you are and celebrate yourself, and then you'll be able to give to the world. So many times you find yourself overcompensating for others, and this could be from friendships to relationships with your parents, your family, with a lover. And it's important to remember to put yourself first, and to always know that you have only one life and you should live the best life you can.
All of these vibes, as you can see, it's vibes everywhere. The blue, then you know where to come to.
Ang service mula eh. Mula yung service.
Merci beaucoup.
It's so important for women to support women, because the narrative has always been created that women are our own worst enemies, and which is a lie. When you go all the way to the communities, when women go fetch firewood, they go fetch firewood together. When they go collect water, they go collect water together. When they discuss where their children are going to school, it's one mother who takes one on Monday, the other alternates to bring them back after school. Women have been team players, and it's just the narrative has been created to make it work against us by external forces. I say women must support each other, because if we want to see more women in positions of decision making and leadership, it starts in as little as the impact we all make individually. If I do my part and I empower a woman, and you do your part and you empower women in your sector or industry, then where will we be in a few years? A lot of the time women talk about, oh, they were elbowed out in an organization by the men. But why did you not focus, when you were in that position of influence and power, to bring up more women? It's important for women to not look at each other as competition, but to look at each other as complementary. Your skills, your talent, your partnership, what we can create is bigger than what I can do on my own. No one man is an island, and no one woman is an island either. We need each other, and especially in the globalized world we live in today, it's important to leverage on each other's strengths. my dreams have no cap. They have no limit. I don't know what I can say you can expect from me, but just know I'm not going anywhere. You will continue to see me. You will continue seeing me shaping African conversations, driving an agenda for youth and women on this continent, driving a passion story for how we as Africa can ensure that we sustainably develop to be where we need to be. And so in the meantime, I say just stay tuned.